hello everybody, welcome to the first video I've made of this kind. So in this video I'm going to be talking about my hopes and expectations for the upcoming Pokemon games Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So you know what I'm going to say. Basically everything in this video are my opinions, my expectations. If you have different perspectives than that, then that's fine. Just please respect other people's views. And yes, I will admit some of these expectations are unrealistic, but let's face it, a man's got a dream, especially the way Pokemon's been going. So this is how the video works. So I'm going to break this video into separate chunks. I will put the timestamps on screen and in the description below, maybe in the comments as well if you're not, I don't know. So you got story and characters, gameplay, the Pokemon themselves, animation and graphics, music, and any other topics that I'm not sure would fit into any of the previous categories. When I wrote this screenplay, it was before the trailers were first announced, so I've made some changes but kept some fun ideas in, making my previous point about unrealistic expectations more relevant in this video. As I make this video, there'll be more news popping up, I bet, so I'll try and make sure this video is up to date. So there's no one in the comments saying, "Ah, you forgot about this, oh, but they have that." I'll do my best. Anyway, let's start the video. Although the story hasn't bothered me too much as a kid, I have heard that the game's story was unbalanced in Diamond and Pearl, which, yeah, I agree from what people have been saying. I definitely do agree, and it needs to be a bit more of a steadier pace, is that right? So it's not just stretched out in certain areas, but also squashed in others. So I suggest that Game Freak use the story from Platinum with a few refinements or changes suited towards the story of the Diamond and Pearl remakes. However, as Game Freak said, they are doing a faithful remake. It is likely they'll just reuse the story from the original games, although I hope isn't the case. But I am wrong. As pointed out by some people, there's an NPC in Floroma Town, which isn't found in the Diamond and Pearl games but in Platinum, suggesting that they are using Platinum as a base instead of Diamond and Pearl, if that makes sense. So we might actually get a better story with plenty of features much like Platinum had. I just realised, I'm an idiot. I wrote it in the next point. Never mind. With the characters, I really don't have much to say. Maybe make the gym leaders more involved in the story like in Black and White. Yes, that does kind of go against my point, but that would just come under refinements. Maybe expand on the other lives of the gym leaders like Sword and Shield and Black and White, where they have a career outside being gym leaders. So gym leaders isn't their full-time job. Make them more like people. This point may overlap with the visuals, but don't be afraid to go cinematic to create tension and atmosphere. Primarily for the cutscenes. This can be seen in the battle scenes in the trailers, which could mean cinematic cutscenes would be in the games, hopefully. But don't do it like Sword and Shield, where, you know, models turn 90 degrees and use this preset, no. Make these cutscenes by hand, you know what I mean? Because you want the audience to feel immersed in the story, and if it just looks robotic and artificial, it's just going to lose that sense of authenticity. Can the cutscenes look like this, or does the whole game? It just looks cool. I think I didn't like this here, but the one thing that, although it's unlikely, the one thing that would be amazing is voice acting. I mean, imagine that, voice acting in the Pokemon games. You could just have it default Japanese. I don't care, as long as they have voices. I won't go too much into it, but I feel that while Breath of the Wild actually made efforts to really push themselves to create something new, Sword and Shield were like, here you go, here's a few game mechanics, here's a few this, we have to make some cuts, and, for either animation or model remakes, which, poop to that. I want these games to be true passion artistic projects. Like in Sword and Shield, I will admit there was some heart that went into some areas, but the rest of the game just didn't get that much attention. Sorry, I've been rambling on enough. I'm not really going into the characters and that now, I'm just talking about the game itself. So let's talk about the gameplay. Why do I have a weird feeling that this will be the biggest section in this video? I mean, looking at the screenplay, it's definitely long. I feel the game should not include HMs, but try and mix things up like they did with Let's Go. Maybe not in the exact same way, but probably if you wanted to keep things somewhat traditional. But a more obvious route is just to use gadgets and gizmos like the Rotom bike and that. Oh, the Pokewatch can be a perfect item for such use. You know, the little thing you put on your wrist. I think also just have certain Pokemon do specific things. You know, don't have moves. Just have like an extra thing called skills or something, where basically certain Pokemon can do this, certain Pokemon can do that. So while you are definitely restricting yourself still, like in the original games, you're not taking up a move slot or anything. It helps structure your team, basically. So for Defogger, you need something like a flying type. For swimming or diving, well, let's say swimming, surfing or diving, you would want a water type. And for rock climb, you obviously want something like rock or ground. Strength, fighting, you know, like you get the picture. Basically, just really push it. I mean, really just make individual Pokemon feel unique. To a degree, I mean, it's more like a group kit, I don't know. For exploring the region, I think this is a good opportunity to make the game open-ended, with areas accessible when you get a specific item from a quest or task. Understandably, this would conflict with the story, so I think only progress the story if you have a certain number of gym badges. But I think also just have side routes, so it's not so linear, you can just do a little off-task. Just to extend the gameplay a bit. Speaking of gyms, it would be great if we did them in any order. Yes, it may be a bit complicated and goes against the originals, but it would make every journey unique and even make the game replayable. This can be done by making 8 teams for each gym leader depending on the number of badges the player has. And yes, I definitely think we should have rematches. Here's the idea. You choose what level to battle the gym leader at. There would be 8 stages, each stage having a level cap. I'll probably have to put a table here so to help show you what I mean. The higher the stage, the greater the reward. Don't be afraid to make the game difficult. Have it where you have the option to turn the XP share not just on and off, but in different settings, like having it on one Pokemon, taking half the total experience earned, and a setting for having it on the entire party, sharing the XP equally, although traded Pokemon can get a boost. You can even offer an optional grinding spot if needed, the experience getting higher for every badge earned. Don't be afraid to be a bit of a jerk where your opponents use full restores, as it makes the game feel more organic and challenging. To be honest, I like it where I have to focus and strategize to win the battle and not just blast through it. Make your audience think. Extend that playtime. Having a solid post-game adds more depth to the game, like the Delta episode from the Hoenn remakes. As I said earlier, the events are a good opportunity, but also have the battle resort like before, unlike Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'm not bothered that there wasn't any battle resort in the games, but many people were. And I feel with the variety the Generation 4 games had when it came to the battle resort, I think ditching all of those would be a wasted opportunity. I believe having Giratina and the Distortion world would be a perfect example of a post-game, as well as the mystery gift events that you could get, which I'll talk about more later. Looking at Sword and Shield, I like the ease of access features they had for competitive battling. So items such as bottle caps and the XP candies were just amazing. Plus, you can battle with your favourite Pokemon from your childhood. Like in Sword and Shield, I got my Rapidash, Dialga and Torterra. Well, actually Torterra's still on home, because thank you, Brexit! They are from my Diamond game, and having them there just means a lot. I think the Elite Four should be like in Platinum, with the difficulty spike after beating them for the first time. Because after you beat them at, I think it was level 60, they just jump to like level 80, which is brilliant if you want to do some XP grinding. I think the game should bring back the use of the Pokewalker, or using the Pokeball Joy-Con, or even have the switch in sleep mode while having the game open. I'll explain why later, but I just think it's just nice to bring back a lot of the Gen 4 stuff into those games. You know, just increase that immersiveness. I'm not sure how to put it. Just get people outside. Now, the most ambitious expectation is having a second region. What region? Well, if my last point didn't make itself known, Johto. People say that they were a prime example of how a remake should be, so having a Gen 4 remake of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and these remakes would be astounding, plus Johto needs more love. And yes, I know about Kanto. I mean, you can put that in there, but I don't know, that feels too ambitious. But that might just be because Kanto's been getting so much attention that it just feels a bit too much. For the Pokémon themselves, there's a lot that can be explored here. I think this will be a great opportunity to reintroduce Mega Evolution, alongside new Mega Evolved Pokémon. I would say this and a few G-Max forms, but I think just keep them out, of Sinnoh, just keep the Galar to the Galar, you know? And bring back Sea Crystals, I suppose, because I don't really think they make a big difference. I mean, imagine, wait, forgive me if I'm wrong, but you can actually use Z Crystals and Mega Evolution in battle, right? I don't know. Many Pokemon are interesting, but are overshadowed by many other Pokemon, especially those with Megas, G-Max forms, and even if they're just uber powerful like Dragapult or Tyranitar. And I think Flygon is overdue for one. I would go on about what can get a Mega, but that'll be for another video. And on a side note, I've heard from a Sugar Conroy video that someone gave their Flygon a Garchomp right in VGC as a statement of saying, Game Freak, what are you guys doing? You're saying you can't design a Mega Evolution. What's wrong with you guys? Personally, I don't think it's that. I just think the devs just couldn't be bothered. You know, they said, no, let's just give that to Garchomp instead. But yeah, that's amazing. Also, I did try to find the original source of this information, and the best I have come to is the global link page, which has now shut down. I do plan on making a video on what Megas I would like to see, but please let me know your thoughts as well. A major flaw with the Generation 4 games is that they didn't handle events too well, in my opinion. I can forgive them as Wi-Fi was still new at the time, so of course they would make mistakes. Even so, I think making the events what they used to be would be a good idea. My advice, make two ways of getting the event. One where you use your Switch at a local game store, or for those who don't want to bring their Switch out in public, which I can understand, give out promo codes on a wallet-like card or receipts, so you can take them home and get your fancy event. And I think we can have every event, such as Darkrai and Arceus. Speaking of Arceus I mean, I think it was silly to not distribute the Azure Flute, as I feel people could have figured it out. I mean, ignoring all I just said, I think just add them to the post-game. You know, just don't have events whatsoever, just post-game it, just do it. You know, just make the money worthwhile. I think having a remake opens for some regionals, which I think will shake things up. Again, this will be for another video, but I think Johto and Univern needs revisiting. Just give them more love.
What about her? Oh, but Tropius is a sweet Pokemon that needs more love.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think Tropius is a sweet Pokemon too.
Oh yeah, you forgot about Tyranitar.
Yeah. Like I said before, it's Tyranitar. The only Gen 2 Pokemon Game Freak actually gave a toss about.
Look at the top of his head.
Anyway, Sinnoh definitely lacked fire types, which is somewhat fixed in Platinum, but I feel like we can have more fire types such as Slugma and Growlithe. Maybe even have some variants like I said before, such as a Fire Ferret. That'd be cool, Fire Ferret. Here's an idea. Either for any artist out there or for me in the future, have a ferret that's like a neck warmer. Huh? That'd be cool. God, it's a little bit controversial considering neck scarves aren't exactly ethical.
Alrighty then. You know something? You're right.
But I mean, it's still cute. Also, I feel like Shellos and Gastrodon could have north and south forms. Would love to design what they could look like. If I had to think off the top of my head, north could be like a tundra alpine coloration with conical features, while the south is more vibrant with more emphasis on yellows and a flatter design to help accentuate the vibrant colours. Maybe new Burmy and Rummerdam forms as well. I can't think of what in particular right now, but if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Maybe water bubbles or something. Continuing on to forms, in Pokemon Legends Arceus we have Hisuian forms. Hopefully I pronounced that right, it's still new to me, I've only known this for about a day. Anyway, we have Hisuian, what again? No, Hisuian Braviary, which is I don't know if it's a cooler looking version than a Galarian Articuno, but it's definitely cool. And I think implementing it as a, I'm not going to talk about the review now, I'm just saying what there is. And the other Hisuian form is Growlithe, which is actually a fire rock type. And it looks like a shaggy sheepdog. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're doing here. Are they going to make an Arcanine? Or are they going to make a completely different Pokemon? Now, we have 2 new evolutions as well, which I did find surprising, as that was a little bit ambitious. We have Reardeer and Basculegion. Reardeer was just amazing as a choice. Statler just needed a bit of a modernization, and I think having Reardeer be like a really majestic, spiritual, ghostal deer that's a bit of Santa Claus in it, it's just amazing. And also, it's gaining the Psychic type, which was something that Stantler did have elements of. Ooh, just really long overdue, but just glad it came nevertheless. Basculegion? Basculin, I just thought it sort of had a gimmick of having 2 forms, and that's it, really. Like, had Swift Swim and that, but nothing amazing. Basculegion just looks amazing. I wonder if there's a blue version, because we saw red, but I wonder if there's a blue variant. How this relates to the video is that I hope these forms do actually make their way into Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I mean, come on. You can't tell me that these forms cannot be in the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl games. I mean, it would be a missed opportunity. Like, just put all the forms in. I would love to try Reardeer now. I mean, if I had a guess, it would actually be pretty decent, more specially offensive. Wait, why am I talking about competitiveness? No, but it would be really interesting to use. It would be like a majestic version of a Girafarig. I mean, I like Girafarig, but Reardeer looks better. Also, I think having a Hisuian Growlithe would add to the number of fire types in the region. Sinnoh region, I mean. Now, a Pokemon overdue for some kind of recognition is the Unknown. Unknown made an appearance in Solaceon Town, where they also introduced the question mark and apostrophe Unknown. Game Freak, just make the ultimate Unknown already. You have emphasized they are ultra powerful. And what do we get? 28 pathetic Pokemon competitively. Like, I love the designs. I love the way they look. But why are they so frail? Just make it. Sorry. As I probably said already, if you want to see me design any of these new forms, then please let me know down in the comments. Seriously, I would love to do them, and seeing you guys want it would give me more motivation to design them. To be honest, from what I've seen so far, I really don't mind the stylized approach to the visuals, especially with the chibis. That's probably the most infamous thing about the games. But it would have been brilliant if they made a step up from Pokemon Sword and Shield. And by that I mean, well, just look at the cutscenes from Pokemon Sun and Moon and X and Y. Focus on making the game look more like Belonia, Kirchester and Galar Mine, rather than the entirety of the wild area. That just doesn't look that great, like a Nintendo 64 game, but a little bit better, but not as good as some other Switch titles. Also, there is an animated trailer someone made in a week. That's better than what I've done with my 2 farting cubes. Anyway, in that video, he shows how the game should have looked like. And as I just said, I'm okay with the chibis, but what this guy has shown definitely makes me wish that Game Freak made the effort to fully modernize the game. The animation I feel needs to be consistent in both cutscenes and gameplay. Although I think put most of the effort on the cutscenes themselves, but I feel like the in-game shouldn't be so lackluster as well. In some cases, I think Sword and Shield were on the right track, but still had a way to go, but definitely less of this. This also applies in battles, even more so than the main game. Actually, battles would be a big focus, so I feel that they need priority. Also, I feel scaling needs to be done. A PokeTuber called Distant Kingdom actually made a video about modding the scales to increase their size, and it really changes the atmosphere in the battles, especially for the legendaries, where he looks so intimidating, so powerful. To sum up this section, I don't think the graphics and animations need to be stunning, just polished and consistent. Oh yeah, Oxdin has made a good point on how the animations can be done. So after you watch this video, please check out that video. It's actually a really good video, and I think Game Freak, the Pokémon company, or Nintendo could just take a thing from that. From what I've seen, the battle animations haven't really improved. Although when I looked at Magmortar's Flamethrower, that does look right, but then Milotic looks a little bit iffy. I don't know, that's just something that I've noticed. With the chibis, I still think they look adorable in that, but when they are literally in the same game as the full-scale models, that being the battle models, it just feels kind of awkward that you go from chibis to full-scale models. It just seems very odd. It makes the chibis look awkward, like the full-scale models look great. The music isn't too big of a topic to talk about, as I do like the soundtrack from Diamond and Pearl. I think having the day and night versions of each song would be nostalgic and more impactful with the potential with today's use of high quality audio and using actual instruments. Wait, did they use actual instruments in the... I think they did use actual instruments in the original games. I think that and add that black and white flair to it would be amazing. Oh, I did mention this in my Pokémon Presents 2021 review, but it would be interesting if they added a Japanese/Eastern spin to their soundtrack. Which might be very controversial, but I think could really make the games have a very Japanese feel. As I said before at the beginning of this video, I'm going to be talking about random things that I feel could be in the games, but I just feel like wouldn't fit into any of the categories that came before this. I think having costumes or outfits unlocked by Amiibo is a good idea with the figures, such as Lucario giving either a Lucario costume, a Lucario shirt, or just even a set.
Lucario onesie.
Oh, Lucario onesie. Yeah, that'd be cool. Please bring back the ball capsule seals. They're just so pretty. Maybe try doing it in 3D? That would be awesome. For puffin making, you can use the Joy-Con to stir like you would when stirring curry in Pokémon Camp. Actually, cooking curry was quite fun, and I think having that physical input of stirring really adds to the tension. Oh, that and fanning your thing as well. You know, the flames. What? Fanning the thing? It's the fire! Contests were fun and different from the rest of the game, and I would love to see those make a comeback. Maybe even more fleshed out to be very similar to gyms. Well, in structure and now, I'm not saying like, I don't know. The Nintendo DS was infamous for its touchscreen, so it would be great if they utilised that for their games, especially with polishing your gym badges. The Safari Zone, if the other routes would be static, should definitely have a camera. I think maybe, since it's like a top-down view, maybe just rotate 90 degrees with your, what do you call it? D-pad? Oh, and I actually like the bogs, because they just added that weird stress and tension to the game, so please bring those back. And please don't skip out on the Battle Frontier like you did in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. You would extend playtime if you had those buildings. Also, it is a good opportunity to experiment with various battle styles such as triple battles and rotation battles, which I think need to make a comeback. Pokémon Heart Gold and Pokémon Soul Silver introduced the Pokémon Heart Gold and Pokémon Soul Silver introduced the Pokalathon with fun courses that were weird but incredibly fun. If the Diamond and Pearl remakes had these, you can expect my playtime to go up drastically. I noticed this in Pokémon Sword and Shield, and it does concern me. The PC box artwork literally has no artwork at all. It's just too minimal, it's too abstract. I love to see the PC box artwork make a comeback with updated visuals, like Pokémon X and Y, but I wouldn't mind if they did it in a detailed pixelated style. That'd be amazing. Let's just have mail again, but understand that Game Freak is going to censor a lot of things. So maybe it might not, maybe it will, maybe it'll just be preset messages, I don't know. The text box customization was not in Pokémon Sword and Shield, and I love to see that make a comeback. It just adds that little bit of personal touch. The last point is the mining. I think this feature was extremely useful with today's items such as bottle caps and mints, etc. So you do have a lot more options to modernize the mines a bit. Oh, and please modernize the fossils found too, but you can do it in a way where all the fossils that were available in the original games would be available just first, but after the post game or after you complete the regional decks, then you can unlock the other fossils. Plus, with better online play, this feature can be one of the best side activities in the game, so I can finally play in the mines online with my friends, hopefully, or just random people, because I never did that as a kid. I never used any online features when I played Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, because I didn't really have Wi-Fi back then. One thing I wasn't really expecting too much, except to be in certain areas, was Pokemon following you, which, you know, they can follow you all over the region, which is just amazing. The feature that surprised me when it came to the underground was, they call them underground hideouts? I prefer to call them underground habitats just because they're just these little ecosystems in like small areas of the cave. And can I just say, they look really cool. And they got that overworld Pokemon thing where you just got Pokemon walking around. That's really cool. Not really too much to say, I just think it's really interesting how they actually expanded on that. Hopefully not at the cost of, you know, what do you call it? Not Great Plateau. I forgot what you call it. Just put it on the screen. I think it's Battle Frontier. That's it. No, it's the Battle Frontier. Hopefully it didn't sacrifice that. I'm actually really happy that they included contests. I mean, to be fair, it was quite a big feature, but I feel some of the animations were a little bit lacking. There's some emotive stuff there, but then you got this. Another feature I didn't realise was going to be a thing in this game was a little bit of customization for your avatar. You just got styles, and, you know, I'm really happy that they done that. They didn't have to, but it's really cool. But not only does it affect your battle model, but also your overworld model as well, your little chibi model. So you got a full-scale Gengar jacket style and a little chibi Gengar jacket style. So cute. However, I noticed that it's in the same place as the casino from the originals, so they got rid of that. Kinda sucks they had to get rid of it, but I get why. One thing I was really surprised but excited about is the ball capsules. Not only did they just like do them 2D, but they did it 3D as well, and they look great. I mean, could they do a little bit more pizzazz? I don't know. I think they just look great generally. I hope I said everything I needed to say, but if there's anything I've missed, please let me know. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if I missed a lot. Also, because Mudkip has been nagging me about this for probably about a week now, I am aware now that Ilka are making the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl games. I just keep forgetting, so I am terribly sorry for just my absolute stupidity. To Ilka, and maybe Game Freak if you're partially involved in the production. If you're listening to this, which is already great of you, just please listen to the Pokemon fanbase, as we love the franchise and we want the games to be as good as they can be. Obviously we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I do hope that you consider our suggestions. Also, I know I've been putting a lot of hate onto Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, but to be honest, them and the DLC aren't really that bad, but in some cases underwhelming, especially for the price. Furthermore, they are just a brilliant example of what has been lacking in the games for a long time now, and comparing them to other games nowadays, it just feels like they really aren't catching up with the times. So to you guys, I know I said if I've missed anything, please let me know. But is there also anything that you disagree with in this video? So if there is, then please comment below, but please be polite about it. As I said, I do plan to make some artwork for these new forms, so which are you most excited to see? Please let me know. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bronze on, do that. And I'll see you in the next video. In the past, present, or even future. I will see you there. Bye!